I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
All right, good afternoon, and welcome back to the channel. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports, and we have a very special show lined up for you in the afternoon. It has been quite a while since we have had Coach Eric Radamakers on, but he's back today. He's not at Arnett Gardens right now. You know, he's down there with Paul Teagat Davis at Arnett Gardens, having some success. He's not at Campion College today, where he's also had success at the under 16 and the Manning Cup level. He's all the way over there in the land of his birth, the Netherlands, and he has several youngsters from Jamaica with him. And he's going to talk to us about that trip. What would make him take these young Jamaicans at this time over into the Netherlands when it is cold, what they're doing, and what is the major objective for this trip? We're also going to hear a little bit about what is happening at Kingston Soccer Academy and how you, if you want your child to be a part of an academy that has produced quality talent, why this is one of the academies of choice out here in Jamaica that you should be a part of. So Coach Eric is here. I'm not seeing him right now, so I figure he's probably combing his hair. He's probably just coming from the beach and he's getting his hair combed and all of that before he comes on. Oh, Coach Eric.
Yes. Well, it's about bedtime over here. So you know there are some players that need some extra attention when it comes to that time. But no, I'm here and I'm present.
Oh, right, cause it's after 11. It's 19 after 11.
Yes. It's almost 11:30, so it's 20 past 11 right now.
Oh, gee. So why did Coach Edwards and Mr. Williams set it so late? Are you had training or you had game today?
Well, we also keep in mind that in Jamaica it's still only, I think it's 20 past 4.
Yeah.
So, you know, we try to make sure to make our time available at the time that that is also convenient for the listeners.
All right, wonderful. Now, welcome again, Coach Eric. You are tell us. I mean, remind for those who don't know, because you went on this tour last year as well. All right.
Correct.
So tell us what it is called. Tell us what it's about, and what's happening over there in the Netherlands. So go ahead and share for those who may not know what is happening, what's going on with Kingston Soccer Academy, right?
Kingston Football Academy, because you know
Football
we're still not in America. There's still football for us, the rest in the world. But yeah, well, I'm from Netherlands, as you mentioned before, and a big part of the objective when myself and Ashton Blankson started the academy is to really see what can we do for the best players in Jamaica. And when we say best, we don't just mean most talented players, but we really mean players that have a certain complete package, that if we guide them right, can really be of value to some of the European professional clubs that we watch on TV. So that is a part, I would say, of the objective when it comes to our elite players in the academy. We have currently 15 teams, about 240 players. But as you can imagine, there's not all of those that are really on that path for the elite path that we really look at with players on this trip. But for those who do, we really try to do our best to create opportunities, and this trip is a big part of those players' path that we set out for them.
Wonderful. And so, how many of the players who went on this trip last year are back this year? What
So
percentage, without giving specific numbers?
it's about 70%. So 70% of the players from last year coming back again this year. I would say the players that did not return for various reasons. I mean, some of them are in their crucial school
Exam.
year. And exactly, and after then doing a Manning Cup, I mean, as you mentioned, some of our players at Campion that were here last year, they played under 16 and Manning Cup. They had a very active first part of the school year, and it didn't really line them up ideally to really spend this time and even the preparation leading up to this. So they kind of had to go away from that one this year. I mean, just a quick mention that I always a little disappointed when a school competition makes people do bad in school. You know, I wish they can put a certain schedule on it that actually allows persons to excel in the competition and in the classroom. But yeah, that is one of the reasons. You know, of course, financially is also a big part of, you know, that allows persons to go here and their sponsorship be able to get the finance that they'll be able to get. But also for a very big part, the commitment and the leading up in the 3 months. You know, if
Right.
you're not able to make a certain commitment, then no matter how good you are, you're not going to be able to really gel as a team, understand what we want to see. And even more so for us to realize, is this player in the right mindset to not just impress persons over here, but once they have interest, you can actually live up to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of things that we kind of look at when it comes into selecting players. But having that said, it's an opportunity that we're able to create. So as much as we love these players to tick all those boxes, reality is in Jamaica, when you're there, you don't tick out all the boxes yet. You know, so
Yep.
part of it, their development is to reach over here, and hopefully they will see and learn certain things that now maybe in the preparation for next year they do better. In the trip for next year they do better. And
Yeah.
yeah, and ideally see how far
Very
they can take
interesting.
it.
I mean, you raised some very interesting point. One is, I mean, how do you, I mean, you're in a school like Campion. Campion is generally known for excelling academically. I like what you said, you know, that we need to probably structure the football that allows our kids to be able to focus on schoolwork, but still play football, but both are not conflicting, right? But how are you able to manage that in a Campion environment where a greater emphasis is probably on and actually did so well in both competitions and still be able to get some of the players to go to a tournament like this? Because people would say, Campion allowing all that sporting activity? How are
I
you
mean,
able
I
to
tell
manage
you,
that?
and it really comes because I mean, we played a match yesterday against PSV, and just a short example when we go on a tour and we talk to the coaches over there. From a young age, all those guys do that are included in the PSV academy is school. After school, they reach to the club, and that's the everyday routine. So you have to realize once you're in that professional path as a youngster, we talk about 14, 15-year-olds. As a youngster, you really have to have that dedication. And I think camping is almost a best learning school because the commitment that they have to make is really a lot more than certain boys that attend other schools where they don't have the academic pressure. So those persons, you often see them not really put too much time in the school, a lot in the football, but when they reach here and they have to multitask, they have to manage their time properly, you see them now struggle when they reach this environment. Just to give an example, last night I think it was bedtime, 11 o'clock, and I see somebody still on his phone at 11:10, and I said, "No, that can't happen." He said, "Coach, I have to submit this for tomorrow." And this is somebody who just returns from playing a match that's going in training this morning, and he's still doing schoolwork up in the night because he realized I have a deadline and I choose to do
Have to meet it.
to
Yeah.
try to excel in the classroom and in football. And let's be real, that's what life is about. Even take it out of football. When you're later on in life, you have to be able to focus on multiple things if you really want to achieve a successful life. So we see
Yeah.
it as a perfect learning school. Yes, it's challenging. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot more challenging if you you're in Jamaica and you try to follow this path than when you're in Netherlands. But it's the path that's set out for us for those who are born in Jamaica. So we try to help as best as we can with that.
Yeah. All right. So you played the first game yesterday. I mean, not as good a start as you did last time around, because last time around you had a better result. I can't remember if you actually played PSV the last time around.
Um, so here's the thing. Last time around, the first match, which was the day after we arrived, was against a local amateur team, and it was really organized like that to have a warm-up match, because we know the jet lag is there, and this way they can kind of acclimatize without too much pressure. So that was a very good experience. That was the same plan for this year until I spoke to the PSV coach, and he said the only date possible is Tuesday, April 4th. So I scratched my head and I said, are we really going to play one of the best youth teams in the entire world? Because when you see the results from PSV these days against Man U, against Arsenal, against Ajax, but I'm like, are we going to play them within 24 hours after we arrive in a -2 environment with jet lag, a 7-hour time difference? But it was either yes or we're not going to play them at all. And I was
Whoa.
like, after the success we had last year, I wanted to really give them a step up from certain opponents. So I also got confirmation from Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is really also at youth level, one of the top teams in Germany. I mean, even the senior level, I think is the 5th biggest club in Germany.
Yeah.
So they have a next top match next week, Wednesday, the under 15s. But yeah, it was either take it or leave it. And I said, well, you know what? We're going to take it because the experience that we get from that is so valuable that I still want to get it done. So
Okay.
you
So
could see it in the match, though. So,
PSV were lucky that you were jet lag, -2 condition.
no, I mean, it's great. It's great to see real players at the same age play with a certain, experience and quality and the speed of play, the understanding of the game, even how they react to the coach's instructions, and even against us, where it was 0-0 at halftime, even though they were the dominant
Whoa.
team. But after halftime, you saw that they made tactically changes, and you might not expect in Jamaica when you have a top team that's dominant to really play against a team to really go all out till the final minute, even when they're up 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. But when I looked at PSV, they don't really play to beat us. They play to get better and get the
Execute.
best
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of every football. So whether they play against us or they play against Ajax, they will play with a certain intensity and speed and passion and desire that it was a great example to see that they can do that for the full match. And even when it reached to the end of the match where
They were
our
still.
legs were done, our legs were
Yes.
done, and they were not like, oh, they were more like, all right, great, now there's more gaps and openings we can take advantage of. And but as I said, we started off the match pretty decent. They were, of course, the dominant team, but people were kind of breaking down. I think the breathing was the main thing. As I say, it was -2 in the morning. I think maybe it heated up to maybe about 4 or 5 degrees. But
Whoa.
the way our lungs would need more time to recover and
Yeah.
could not really. I spoke to a physio over here and I said, really, you need about 2 to 3 days
Yes.
for
Yes.
just your lungs to acclimatize. And I talk about temperature or time difference or different type of game, different fields, just the lungs. So it's something that we hope to see in the future matches, that they get better acclimatized. I mean, we did some more running today to get the lungs used to it. But as I say, it
So when
was
I
such a
talk to you
valuable
next week,
experience to still
talk
forget.
to you next week Thursday after Mönchengladbach, because that is the next game. You should.
Well, I'll go over the schedule a little bit. So tomorrow they have a game. So under 15 and under 17 have a game tomorrow, full match, also against professional teams. Then Friday, under 17 has a match against PSV right the day after. Also,
Again?
only day of, no, this is the under 17s.
Okay. The under 17s.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, well, we have a mixed team. Also, something interesting to mention. So in Jamaica, a lot of times we have a 2-year gap in age groups. U13, U15, U17, or school level U14, U16, U19, even a 3-year gap. In Netherlands, and I think in most of Europe, they have 1 year. So they have
1 year. Yeah.
PSV has a U13, U14, U15,
15.
U16.
Yeah. Same thing in the
So
States.
yeah, so our U15 is really a U14, U15 mix. We have players from 2009 and
Right.
2008.
Yes.
PSV was a 2018. So we even played. We had 6 of our starters born in 2009, so they're U14, and at PSV, all 11 are 2008 under 15.
Right, because they are U15s. You know that
Yes,
that's a
correct.
very good point because that's what I was saying today. That not only that Coach Eric, but what you find is that the same set of players come up because they play U7, U8, U9, U10, U11, U all age groups coming up
Yeah. So the
in these
team really stays together with maybe
stays
a one or
together.
two,
Not like
and it's
Jamaica where
interesting
you're
to see.
changing out half of
Right.
your team. Yeah. That's a good.
And I mean, it's a numbers game. You know, the more competitions you have, the more players you have, the easier it is to do this. But I think it's something that we have to be aware of when we even go over here and we pick our opponents. As I say, sometimes you can't really choose because you just have to take the opportunities that come
Yeah.
in front of you. But it's important for our players to understand that if we have players who are 13 and they play against players from PSV who are 15,
Yes.
and even physically you see a little difference there, but at the end of the day, we have various opponents. So we're playing Thursday, both teams are playing a match. Friday on the 17th playing a match. On the weekend both teams have a 2-day tournament, so it's really the next 4 days is a lot of
Whoa.
matches going on. Then Tuesday next week both teams are playing against the Eredivisie side, Fortuna Sittard, and then the day after U15 is playing against Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Okay. Whoa. Lots of games.
Almost.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. That's right. What is your coaching stuff? Your complement of coaches with you because you're not the only one as a coach there. I mean, how many other coaches do you have? And if you care to mention some of the other persons who are working with you to make this possible, over there.
Yeah, man. Of course. I mean, that's really where all the magic happens. So it's
Yeah.
myself and Ashton Blankson who are two directors of the academy. Where Ashton Blankson is the under-17 head coach. Outside of that, you have Stefan Marshall, who is the under-15 head coach, and I assist him more on under-15 because a lot of my play doesn't allow me really to be the head coach. I more assist Coach Stefan on that. And then we have his twin brother, Stafford Marshall, who is really the performance coach, strength and conditioning coach, that does a lot with the boys over here when it comes, especially now, acclimatizing with the running, the stretching, because it's a busy schedule. So the taking care of the body is crucial.
Yeah.
So that's really the core of the staff that works every day with Kingston Football Academy together. But we also have some additional support here. Andrew Edwards, who I think you're also
Yes.
familiar with, is a person in football that we communicated for a lot of years, and great person to have in our network. And he approached
Definitely.
us, and he was like, is the possibility for me to join on the trip? And as much as we love to give these opportunities and exposure to players to learn, we very much feel the more coaches get to see and understand how it works here, the better the development will be when we all go back to Jamaica and we share this. So Andrew Edward
Awesome.
was able to join us on the trip, so he's kind of joining us as an additional coach to that coaching staff.
Awesome. And who are some of the names that we would have heard of in probably schoolboy football that are there on the trip and stuff? People may know a couple of the Campion players or any other players. I don't know. Who are some of the names that under 13 that people may know that we can say, oh, he's there. And
Right.
for example, I know that the last trip, Dunstan Cohen, that a lot of people didn't know about outside of the Clarendon. They heard about him from the trip that you had,
Mm-hmm.
as
I
well.
mean, we have some players, as I say, from Campion. With I think Kai Miles is one that during last schoolboy season made a name for himself there.
I'm telling you.
I do have to mention, I saw some people even respond on social media. Kai broke his ankle in the All
What?
Ireland final against Stats back in December.
Stats. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I've been wondering what's up with him because I'm saying he wasn't a part of the Jamaica U17, and I think, oh,
So he
whoa.
broke his ankle, really, surgery, everything on it, and he really, I think his first full training session was about a week and a half ago. But again, it's something of an experience that we say it's so valuable. We're going to try to get the most out of him. But even though yesterday's match against PSV, as much as we want to put him on, we have to be careful. So he eventually
Yeah.
took
Oh no.
about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but when we see him in training still not being 100% fit, we say it is a 2-week trip. let us not go all out from the start and try to manage it. But Kai is somebody on the trip that definitely some persons are aware of. Brian
Is
May.
he's able to play under 15, right?
Yes, correct.
I
So
hope he's.
that is I think just about that is starting. So when we return from a trip, some of the boys will.
I hope that he is. I don't know if I could watch the under 15 if he's not playing. I'm telling you. He,
Well, it's something that yesterday, we have to keep in mind. There's a lot more and bigger things to come for these
yeah.
players, not just Kai, but in general, than just one match. So when
And
we,
the Williams brothers are. I mean, I know
yeah,
one missed the U17 because of a knee issue. I think the bigger one.
so
Um.
Javin Williams is
Yeah.
somebody who with Mannings,
Yeah.
has done very well. He went on a trip last year as well, captain of our
Yeah.
U16 last year. This year U17. So he had a knee injury that
Right.
prevented
That
him
caused
really
him
to
to
go
miss
all
the
out
under
in this.
17. Yeah. Yeah.
Though they know that I'm on an interview actually.
All right. No man,
Um,
that's a problem.
but yeah, so Javani, kind of, he's just coming back from that as well. So I think
Oh jeez.
about 3 weeks ago, he really started doing a full session. But we're slowly building that up. But he should be able to um come onto this trip and really make a lot of minutes. But again, we have to manage it because this is not all. We don't want to get a next injury because we pushed it too
Yeah.
much, even though it's a great opportunity. So we try to manage it as best as we can. As you said, Dunstan Cohen is somebody who went with U17 as well. Been playing with Veer United in the Premier League, but
Yes.
he was last year, I think, probably the player that catch the most attention,
Yeah.
and really doing good against top teams, against good defenders, and really showing them up. So he's somebody on this trip that they look to really, see some person that saw him last year and say, hey, how is he developing? How is he doing?
Yeah.
Um, I would say Jamon Lyle is a person as
Yeah,
well who
somebody just type in
ah
his name. Says
yes.
there's also Jamon Lai, great talent.
So he won Pepsi with JC this year and on All Island as well. And he went on the trip last year, and he was one of the players last year that some of the scouts say, hey, that is a very interesting player. We would love to see more of him. If you come again next year, we're looking forward to see what he can do. Yeah, as I was saying, Brian Mayo from Campion is somebody who, I mean,
Yes.
he broke his hip against Wolmers
What?
in
No
the
man.
Walker Cup.
All the players who did well last year got injured. Ah,
Yeah, it's
amazing.
almost like you would say that the schoolboy season needs to look at the workload that they put on, not just in the
Oh my
classroom.
lord.
No, but that's somebody who was a little bit early in the schoolboy season, so he missed out on the finals with U16. But he's fully returned as well. Ronaldo Lawrence is the next person who catch him as last year, a midfielder from St George's. We have Nashardo Gibbs from Kingston College, who was next to
College,
Whisper
yes.
during the schoolboy season. So we have some players that somewhat build up something in Jamaica, but we hope they make the next step and start build up a name in Europe. So
All right.
they try to make that
I've
step.
a little player. I need to let him. I don't know how that's gonna work because his father sent him to St. George's, Jawa. His name is Jawa Rastafarian. He was at Tottenham Academy when he was in England, but he's in Jamaica now. Went to a prep school in St. Anne, but he's at St. George's in First Swarm. So hope you get to see him one day and maybe a connection. But he's
Jawa
a young talent.
Jawa
You
Bailey.
know him? Yeah.
Yes, he is actually he joined our academy. I think they moved from California if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, he
Yes, so
did?
they joined. He actually came to tryouts. So every
Yeah.
6 months we do tryouts for persons who want to join the academy because we only have limited
Oh,
field space. So we have tryouts for persons to join the academy, and he came and he impressed. I think Jawa is 2010, so he's actually U13 at the time.
right. He's
So
U13, yes.
yeah, so but as we say, it's really an annual trip we're looking to make. And so when we look at these players that now under 13 or under 12 and U11, we really try to groom them so when it reaches their time to be a part of this trip, they already kind of are ahead of even of the players that went with us now, because they see the older groups already go and they kind of learn from them having that experience. But yeah, Jawa is a nice player as well. Look forward to developing him.
Yeah. Not only that, but let me give you an next thing. I know while you're there on Mondays and Sundays, your heart beats a little faster because Arnett is playing. You
Well,
understand me?
let me tell you, when we stepped off the plane, because the match against Chapel Creek started 10 minutes before boarding. So I said they couldn't even show me a little bit. As I get off, a connection comes in and I see 3 love. I say, yes. So that was no, that was and this Monday coming now will be a real one because we're playing Mount Pleasant.
Oh, you know how
But
it is.
yes, yes, yes. Believe me,
Hey,
I'm on
one
that
thing,
same
one
way,
thing.
even though I'm
I will
here.
say the Mount Pleasant fans are glad that you're in the Netherlands for this one. Because,
Well, they can't be too happy because we've been working on a lot of things behind the scenes, myself and Coach Teagat, and I tell you, we're operating at this stage after a year and a half, almost at the same level. So it's like we have two minds in the same body. So even though I'm physically here, with the mind, we're still present there.
yeah, man. But who are some of the sponsors who you probably, I don't know if you want to big up some of your sponsors who made, because
No,
this is a
yes.
huge undertaking. We want to,
So it
you know,
really, I really KFC, Restaurants of Jamaica, KFC, Andre Roper, is really somebody who, from day one, and I'm talking about when Campion days 5 years ago, before even the academy, has been in support because we shared our vision with them very young. And from the early stages, they already kind of were positive with that. And they said, we're not just want to sponsor something to win. We want to sponsor a long-term goal and vision that you guys have for the development. And it started, as I say, with Campion Program, and all the way to last year trip, they were the main sponsor. This year, they're the main sponsor. So KFC is definitely somebody
big up.
who has done a lot for us. You see it on our jerseys and everything. Some people call us Kingston Football Club because they think KFC is the
Oh,
name. But I
oh,
can't big them
I get
right.
you. KFC.
Yeah, so but I can't big them up enough because it's really crucial for us, and especially for some players can find some funding here and there with
Yeah.
their parents or auntie, uncle, or somebody who help out. But reality is there's a group of players who literally don't have that network where they can find funding, and we can organize a fish fry and we can do something here and there, but it's a lot of money involved, and without a sponsor like KFC, it becomes a very difficult story to make this an annual trip. So definitely a big thanks to KFC for their support.
Awesome. And listen, I mean, I know you said that last year Dunstan Cohen caught the eyes of. I mean, it's part of this in a hope that even some of these players will probably be spotted by, persons in Europe and choose to go pro, or that's it's just to develop them. They finish school in Jamaica, or is that part of the Kingston football academy for hopefully two or three talents, probably Ajax, probably a PSV says, listen, probably a Munchen Gladbach says, listen, would this one, we like this player, or you're not at that place yet. It's just about really developing them. These players want to complete their schooling the- and not really go pro, or they have a desire to go pro, and that's part of the overall
Um,
plan as well.
let me start with telling you my dream when it comes to this part, because of
Yeah.
course, with Arnet there are certain goals and dreams, but when it comes to these trips, my ultimate goal, Ajax is my club that I'm a big fan of from young and follow the vision and everything. And I really would love to see one of our players that not just play for Ajax but captain Ajax and win the Champions League while he's a captain of Ajax.
Whoa.
So I know it might be a little high to set the standard. I was
that's
just telling
that's a
somebody
big dream.
somebody yesterday was telling me, really, captain? He can't just even be on the team. I said, no, not even just a starter. I said, no, I want him to be captain of the team while we're in. But I set that goal because I feel we have the talent in Jamaica, and it's our job to create these opportunities, and then now the ball is back in the court to the players for them to really take the opportunity while they're there, because that is really what it is at the end of the day. And I tell you, it comes down to small things, whether you can perform on a day. Yes, yesterday, a big part of it is the jet lag, the time difference, the adjustment to the climate. But once they acclimatize, it could be a small thing where they get frustrated with something, and a scout
Yeah.
sees that. It could be before a match. I mean, I heard the interview with Whisper when he said during his tryouts, they watch how he eat his food. They watch everything he does off the field, because it's important for a club when they make investment in a non-European player that they have some feeling that this player can adjust to the environment.
You know what is
When it,
funny? I know a Jamaican player, right?
Mhm.
In the past, who the reason why the club didn't sign him is because of before everything they didn't end up signing him in the trial is because they found that he never socialized. So like when he got his food, he went away by himself. He ate. He never spoke to anyone. He never, you know, just
I want you to confirm with everybody who's listening, and I hope some other players will listen, or maybe listen to tomorrow, that we did not talk about this before, because it's the same thing that we tell players, and they still struggle with it. And I think they struggle with it because they don't fully believe that players will be judged on whether they eat the food or not, whether they sit by themselves or in a group setting.
yep.
But these things are crucial, and we tell them every day. But I really feel for our players in Jamaica growing up to understand and really accept it, they need to hear it and see it from multiple people. So I'm happy that you bring it up, because it is a big issue. Because a lot of the players, and I mean, we see it when we play against Roda, Fortuna, PSV, Mönchengladbach. Not all of these players are going to go pro. And
Yeah.
these are
So,
players
so
that are actually playing already at a professional club.
yep. So when I
So it
spoke
when
to my Coach Eric, he said the same thing. He
Mhm.
said that the hardest thing for a lot of the Jamaican players that he has dealt with is is some of those things. The character of the field. And
I
some
mean,
glad
and
you're training and coaching these things from now.
well, I would love to point it out as well that in our selection procedure, and I think it's the same that we have to do throughout in Jamaica, because we're a development country. The end goal of our players is not to play in Jamaica; it's further.
Exactly.
Just like Ajax, just like Netherlands, we have to accept Netherlands is a development country. Ajax, if you perform well at Ajax, you want to leave, go to Barca or Madrid. So it's the same as in Jamaica. If you perform well in Jamaica, you move on. So we're a development country. So we should try to go and select players that not just have the talent that to perform in Jamaica, but we have to select players that can excel in Europe. So it's a part of our selection procedure that we get players who don't just are good at football, but who can adjust socially, who
Yeah.
are okay with a new environment. If you want to play in Russia, you better be okay with the cold and the snow. You know,
Yeah, and listen,
if
you're
you
making some big points because
yeah,
we
so
have had several players coming back to Jamaica, and I don't think it's a matter of talent.
I
It's
agree. But
it's
it is
yeah,
difficult now to select and know how they're going to adjust before they get there.
yeah.
And that is now a big part of these trips, that not just we get to find out, but we also get to develop them, but we get to understand better. These are the signs where we see a player can actually adjust well over here. And in time, the selection procedure will be better and better, because we get to see these signs and signals from while they're in Jamaica, that really mean whether they can adjust over here in Europe. And we even see it on this trip. You know, some of the players here are new, but a lot of them came last year, and we see the difference between some of them.
How they yeah.
Yeah, because when it's new, it takes some time, and you just can imagine if Chelsea buys you and you need that time to adjust, they won't be happy. Or I should
Yeah.
put it the other way around. If Chelsea buys you and they see on the first week that
Yeah,
you
but
adjust
and the other
perfectly,
thing, normally
they'll
when
be like,
clubs
great, let's give
yeah,
them a chance in the
and
team.
when club buys players, they're not buying like one, they're buying five, six, seven youth players like that. So when those players come already prepared, you look like the odd one out. Unless you're super exceptionally talented. That
Yep.
but if the talent is similar, then
That make those things make the difference. And I
it
tell you,
goes. Yeah.
Arsene Wenger once did an interview, and I always remember, and I share it sometimes with players between the age of 16 and 21 that get a professional contract. So we're not talking persons trying to make it, but players that already got a professional contract between the age of 16 and 21. 72% does not play football after the age of 25. I say that
Whoa.
again. people who get a contract, so these are all the new talents that we see that sign contracts, all the age between 16 and 21, 72% of that group, if I remember the 72
Wow.
correct, but it was some, does not play professional football after the age of 25. So you
Wow.
have to realize that when you're good enough to get a contract, there's still a bigger chance for you not to be a professional player after the age of 25 than that you are a professional player.
Wow.
And it's a certain mindset that you have to have, I believe, as a player, to not just say like, hey, I worked hard and now I made it. You have to love the hard work. You have to really embrace, like how Cristiano Ronaldo embraces his whole routine to get the most out of his body. It's that kind of age we kind of start to live in, that you have to take care of these details to not just get a contract. Because you get a contract, you might can convince somebody you're very talented and you're very good, but to really now separate yourself from everybody who got a contract, you have to do that extra thing. And
Well,
for us,
Coach Angie Edwards is saying it's after the age of 21, actually.
oh, that one. Thank you for correcting. I mean, I know Andrew reads up a lot as well, so I'm sure
Yeah,
he
yeah,
thought it similar. But
yeah.
yeah, it's the message. The message is the same. It's
Same thing. Yeah,
once you think that talent alone will get you there, even when
definitely.
get you there means a contract, it still doesn't get you your dream career that we all really talk about when we say we want to go pro.
I see he says that the top U15 player at PSV, Noah Hernandez, was born to a Jamaican father living in Belgium. He says the kid is the number 10 on the Belgium U15 team. All right, for those people who watch that level of football, like that's amazing. I guess you figure that out. But let me ask you a next question, because earlier you spoke about the speed of play and all of that. Because I've been having this discussion on my channel. Even today at Rudolph Speed, and yesterday I did something. And you know, the point I'm making is that Jamaica has pure speed, meaning moving from point A to point B, we're very quick, but the technical speed, we lack that. The speed of action and the mental speed to play the game. Now, how far off are we when you talk about speed of play in comparison to like a nation like the Netherlands, where these guys who are in Jamaica, where I find that our speed of play is like it needs and I'm talking even at the national level, it needs serious work. Let me put it
I
that. To put it mildly, it needs
I don't
serious work.
I don't want to go back in a conversation that I know was going on a few weeks ago, but the fields, the surfaces play a big part in
Okay,
getting a fast speed of play to become a habit. So when we
okay.
even look at our team and we compare their speed of play in Jamaica and here, their speed of play is much faster over here. But is it something that they are used to, and are they adjusting their runs, their movement? Can they maintain it for the full 80 or 90 minutes? Not really, because it's not something they practice every single week. And I truly believe if yes, there's a lot of other parts which I will get into, but if our surfaces are turfs, because really that's where it has to come down to in Jamaica. If we get turf fields that are always immaculate and flat and the ball moves fast,
You think
then
it will improve?
our speed of play will improve a lot. I mention it sometimes, and maybe I'll put in the idea over here. In Netherlands, what happens a lot is that every time a player, just a small example, a player becomes international, Johan Cruyff Foundation allows them to build a small turf field anywhere that they want. Usually goes back in their community. But really what it means is the government or the football federation, the government subsidizing a certain effort. They don't maintain the field and those things. So I look at it and I wonder, can we do something similar where we take away a certain maintenance cost and put that onto a football organization that we know we have plenty of them in Jamaica. I see these schools, JC, KC, Clarendon College, and we know they develop the next youngsters for Jamaica.
Yeah.
Can we build a turf there that's subsidized by the government, just the initial cost, and make the school pay for the maintenance?
Maintenance, yeah,
And
yeah.
there's the same time there's an agreement that the national teams, the youth teams, can train over there at no cost. The Premier League can have matches over there. And now these schools get a big turf field, and you build one a year, maybe even one every 2 years. But 20 years from now, we have now 10 big turf fields or 20 big turf fields, and the development really get much further.
Hey,
I do
listen,
want to point out a very
Coach.
important part. We don't want to
Okay,
stick
go
on
ahead.
the terms,
Yeah.
When you play week in week out, because PSV will play against Ajax on the weekend, us on Tuesday. They will play against Feyenoord on the weekend. They'll play against Twente on next week. We don't have those competitions. When
Yeah.
we play, and even when we look at our best players, they play maybe one or two tough matches out of 10. Because when you play like schoolboy football, most of the first 10 matches are not challenging for our best players. Maybe from quarterfinal it gets
Hey,
challenging.
hey, hey, look.
When we look at school, when we look at our club football, how many competitive matches does Arne Gardens under 17 play? We're talking maybe about a 2-month period out of the year. While when we look at our organization here like PSV, you can look it up online, everything online. They already played 23 matches this season alone. And every Saturday they play that. And these are just official matches. They play every week. They play on Tuesday, a practice game, like how we just did.
Yeah.
So the amount of competitive matches that you play, and as I say, competitive, what I mean is they're being put under pressure. Because if we would have played PSV 22 times in the last 8 months, I guarantee our players would have been way ahead for where they are right
Yeah.
now.
That is why I believe, even in our schoolboy football, personally, we need to put it in divisions where certain schools who recruit highly and all of those things, that they're going to find a better player. They play in a division, and you call it just like in the USA, something to that sort, where you have an elite division, they call it Division 1, because those players are going to play way more competitive games. And then even the other schools, their competition will be competitive because they're playing players at their level. That's number one. Number two, here's a big suggestion. I want to speak to Mr. Roper. Mr. Roper, work with Kingston KFC, Kingston Football Club, well, Kingston Football Academy, and build a turf field somewhere and call it the
I'll change
KFC
the name to
Stadium.
Kingston Football Club if they
Yeah,
build us a big turf, Mr.
yeah, and
Roper.
call it the KFC Stadium.
Yes, we'll go there. We'll go there. No, but it is a big part. It is a big part
Yeah,
of our long-term goal to really get a big turf field. Because if we want to play annually in Netherlands,
yeah.
which we're
And
doing now for the second,
invite PSV to come and play you.
actually, so after the match, I spoke to the coach and I said, anytime you're welcome over there. And I said, well, if you can arrange a return match at the right time, we would love to come and see how the sun stays in Jamaica. And I mean,
Like that.
it might be in a way where it might come across as, oh, Jamaica vacation, we'll go there. But I've had conversations with coaches from last year. 'Cause I talked to them throughout the year. And Fortuna is very, and Rhoda, you say, both coaches, they're very eager to say, we would love to come to Jamaica. If you can organize a combine, the best players will come over there, we'll watch the players, and we'll see what can happen. Of course, with the whole team is another cost and expense that we're not sure
Yeah,
where that can go and for who that can go. But I know there's opportunities once we build these relationships. And as you mentioned, where really it started, we want to get these players to open the doors and create the opportunity and, see if they can kick in a door. But a lot, we want to build relationship with clubs here that if they have interest and they're going to look for a non-European player, they're going to think, hey, remember that Jamaican team come every year. They have some talent, maybe we should see what's going on over there instead of go to Mexico this year or South America. We add it to the trip. When we go to South America, we add to Jamaica because we know they have talent there that develops at a certain level that we like.
yeah. I like what you said. We need to deal with the turf, the surfaces. I totally agree with that. And I like the idea you have about probably the government subsidizing it, but the school or the club or whatever have to maintain it. Like I think the Arnett Garden module is probably something that can be looked at. If you can
Um,
fix Charlie Smith High School and leave your turf for just matches and keep it for that and see
well,
if you
let me
can
tell you the
upgrade the
beauty
field.
about
I see.
turf,
Huh?
because I have to big up Arnett Gardens Witty, our groundsman, because our main field, especially when we give it rest and we don't train on it, it is immaculate.
I am telling you.
But the beautiful thing about turf is you can use it a lot more and it will not
Yeah,
deteriorate. So you can train on it in the morning, play match in the evening, and it's fine, even when it rains. But as we say, we're very blessed at Arnett to have a great field. We're very happy with that one. But we see a lot of Premier League clubs where the surface is very poor.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, shouldn't maybe be that should be the first step? Let's make sure all Premier League teams get a field. And then,
I think
but you know,
honestly, the
who has more
partnership.
money? Let me ask you, who has more money to maintain this field? A Premier League club or a school? I
Hey, let
think
me
some of
tell.
these school programs
I
might
am
find more
telling you.
funny.
You see what
Funny.
Coach Andrew Edwards did because he's here. He did put an article about the same thing I was saying about having divisions where you have because I was talking about this yesterday, right? That it is certain schools will never be able to compete consistently with some schools because population.
Well,
If you have a co-ed school and you have a boys school, you have a greater pool of players to select from. And on top of that, one school, because of other factors, may what you call it, recruit more highly. You can get the best players from all over. Now, in that case, I think if those players play against schools operating the similar way, those players are going to get better. The other players playing, and they can get. I don't know if you can have it like because in the states you play in you're a Division 1 school and a D2 school, but close to the end of the tournament you have probably top four in the right, which would make it more competitive. So the top four schools play your final 16 or something like that. But I think, yeah,
sorry, because it's something that I always very careful with, and I don't want to go in too much. But let me ask you: do we want to follow America or do we want to follow Europe when it comes to football development?
well, here's the thing. I would
Or
follow
where do we
Europe.
want to go? Where do our
Europe.
players want to go?
You,
Where do we want our players to go?
Europe. But here's the thing:
Mm.
football, schoolboy football, is so entrenched until we build out academies. Until we kind of build out academies like you are
I like
doing.
how quickly I like how quickly you went to until we build out academies. Go on.
Yeah. Until we have academies, this is a temporary solution. But
Schoolboy
the
football, you
long
mean?
term goal should be that players leave schools and they go to academies and they learn and develop there, and the academies provide this and academic
You know where I
competitions.
really want to put the focus, because
Yeah.
I think every environment and every culture, every background has their own way that they should maximize the development. And if we're going to try to implement something from a different country, it won't work because it's Jamaica and it's not Netherlands or it's not America. But I think we have to find a way to create a 10-month season for youth players, not from three divisions: U13,
Yeah.
U15, U17, or U14, U16, U19. We need, in Netherlands we have 13 divisions in each age group, and that's just the first teams of each club. So my club, when I played U15 in my club, we had 8 U15 teams. Now for the U15-1, we have 13 divisions. And then for all the reserve teams, you have another whole division. So I think it's crucial, whatever version we go to, we have to create a 10-month season for youth players where we can play on the weekend, develop throughout the week, play on the weekend, develop throughout the week. Because once we have a competition where you play every 3 days, there's no time for development. It's strictly about results. And when you deal as a development country to develop players, you have to focus on development.
Then, Coach Eric, you look like you're listening to my program today and yesterday. I said it that our culture, we are not developing the people who have the
We love
resources.
winning, and I love winning too. Because, and I tell persons, if my objective is to develop players to play for Ajax, if I do my job well, I guarantee you I will win every competition in Jamaica. Because I have players that will be ready for the level of Ajax, then I
Here's
will
the
be.
problem with the development, though, Coach Eric, which is why I'm saying that in Jamaica, say let's start at, which is why we have to move away from school football for development. Because here's what you go to a primary school. Remember, you're in grade 3. You're playing for your under 12. You're
eh,
playing for your under 12 at grade
I
3.
watched PSV. I watched PSV under 10 train yesterday. And it was a joke, but maybe it was not. If you would see them play, if they had some physical, even if not, they could compete in our Manning Cup, because the U10 level is so serious. But guess what? All of them are 9 years old, playing against the best 9-year-olds at Amsterdam, playing the best 9-year-olds all across the country. and they develop at such a competitive rate because they play against other 9-year-olds that are also the best in their region. And I tell you, they were doing things that most of
I'm
our boys
telling you.
technically can't do yet.
All right. But here's what happened, Coach Eric. So let's calculate. If you play primary school football or prep school football from grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, that's 3 months at most for 4 years. So by the time you
It's
get to
hard
grade 6, you only have played
quantifying
one
it.
year of
Yeah.
football
Hmm.
compared to the 9-year-old or the 8-year-old play under 9, under 10, under 11, under 12, right? And
Hmm.
that is like 6 to 9 months. So
Hmm.
by the time our kids get to 12
Not
and
6 to 9, 9 months, 9 to 10 months.
nine
We
to
don't
ten
do no
months
6 months. The only 6 months you get is because at the younger ages, they split up the season in 2 seasons. So you
in
play for
two seasons.
5 months
Yeah.
and then you promote or you relegate because they're trying to make sure to keep it competitive. So if you are a team that wins every match after 5 months, you move up a league to make it more challenging because you maximize development once you're being challenged.
Yeah. So I say to people, our under 9s and under 10s and under 11 should be playing football for 10 months non-stop.
Agreed.
That's that, that's it.
We have 5-year-olds here in Netherlands that play a season like how you have the English Premier League.
Yeah.
But as I say, they break it up in 2 parts, and that's how I look here. But I don't want to go in too far. I truly believe the best thing to do is to show how things are done. And once you have a proven concept, at that point now, people want to know what you do, and then it's much easier to convince persons involved to actually do it that way. Because I've
Yeah,
seen a lot of
but that is
times
what is happening at Campion. So listen. So regardless of what people can say, Campion use a under 16 team, and I believe if the under 16 and the Manning Cup games were not so closely
Mhm.
put together, and you probably, I believe, Campion said, okay, let's go to the Manning Cup finals at the expense of probably where you were. Go to the under 16 finals because I think both competitions in the playoffs.
I mean, we can look back at those things, but we have to realize that when you go to
Yeah,
Campion, we do not have the talented players and the motivated players that what some of these football schools have. And
yeah,
I really think it's crucial for us to understand that we did not win U16 competition because we have the best players, because other teams have players that are better. But
yeah,
we define better a lot of times by looking at the technical aspect of a player. And reality is, our players better understand the game plan, understand the game and what we expect from them than most players at some of the bigger schools.
that's
And
what I'm
this is
going to tell
part
you.
this is
And this
part
is
of
because,
of the development that we do year round. So it's not a
here you
player
go.
that joins us a month before the season starts. We have a 12-month program going on. And that is really where the development comes in. As I say, if you have 10-month seasons from age 5, age 6, the development of this raw talent, and I'm not talking about the Campanites, because some Campanites really are incredibly talented. But when I look some of these other schools, and even when I look at Arnett, and I say, where do these guys come from? Because there's so much talent amongst these players. And again, I mentioned about the technical aspect, physical aspect, but we lack to really develop at the young age the psychological aspect of the game and the tactical aspect of the game. And that really comes in once you cohesive as a team, have a longer period that you go through these stages. So that is a crucial part. And I'm not gonna lie, with this trip in Europe, to kind of get back to that one,
Yeah,
we find it very important to bring players that we think can take these opportunities when clubs go to them. But at the same time, the environment in Jamaica makes it very difficult to prepare properly for the trip. So PSV under 17, who we will be playing on Friday, has played 24 matches or 23 matches upcoming Friday when we play them. All of them with the same 18 players, and their preseason started in August. So from August until now, they train 5 days per week, every single month for that is about 8 months. And
yeah,
our team really had their first training session with the full team after U17 came back from their nationals. Because before that it was schoolboy season. After that it
yeah,
was Jamaica under 17. So we had maybe 2 matches
yeah.
with the
But
full squad
not only that, the PSV players were part of their U14,
before.
possibly U15, U16. So they
Correct,
have
not possibly.
years.
Most of them were.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless they
So
have some that transferred and saying, and stuff. But
Yeah,
generally, a great percentage of that players possibly probably came through from U12s all the way up to you. That's 5 years of 10 months of football and close to probably 40 games per year. That's like 200 games. A lot of Jamaicans play don't play that in their lifetime.
and again, the quality of those games, the competitiveness of the game, the challenge that they have over here compared to in Jamaica is different as well. 'Cause even we see it now at Campion. I mean, first, 5 years ago when we started, we barely were a challenge to anybody, and right now, 5 years later, when we make some improvements, half of the teams we play now are not really challenging us. And I say, at what point are we going to have a longer period where every week we have a fight for a win, or and so, and those things will, as I say, maximize development.
Yeah.
So
So here's
hopefully
what
in
needs to
time
happen.
we can get to a better stage there. But as I say, we try to do the best thing
Yeah.
ourselves, and hopefully more and more people will like what we do and say, hey, let's try to recreate similar and create at some point 10-month seasons from younger ages, and we reach that stage.
Hey, here's what we need, Coach Eric. So we're gonna work on this. We have to have a 10-month academy of football competition where you play
I mean,
at
to be honest,
least.
I don't even want to go in the battles between academy, school, clubs. I just feel if you are a program that coaches a team for 10 months, then you are allowed to be in the competition. Because
Yeah,
if
man,
you
that's
have a
fine.
10-month
Yeah.
commitment and the same player goes 10 months to that club, so it's not like, all right, next week I have a tournament and I go play for them. Or next, we
Yeah.
make those commitments. You're going to see the team development get much better, and once a team is developed, the individuals can excel,
Yeah.
the ones that can really get a professional contract, etc. And yeah, so we hope to play our part in that. And
Hey, it's the next morning over there now, and I know you have a lot.
I know,
But
yes, because tomorrow we have a double header tomorrow. So
yeah, so
I
so people, unfortunately, he has to I have to release him to
but
go because he has to make sure everybody's in bed and sleeping. You
yeah.
understand me? Not no man,
Well,
not one.
it's been quiet in the hallway, so I think they realize match time tomorrow. But feel free to maybe somewhere late in the week or next week. I
Yeah,
give the guy
because you
I
have
give an
two games
update again.
tomorrow, so we link up again and find out. Maybe after Mount Pleasant and Arnett play,
I'll be happy to do so. I'll be happy to do so.
Yeah, but all the best. Are you doing a great work? You understand me, really.
Thank you
The
very
people
much. And
upset said that you have to go. I'm sure improvement is saying no, don't go. But we'll.
yeah, man, plenty of time. I'm not going nowhere. I love the projects that's going on with the academy and with Arnett as well. And I really have a lot of passion in developing the football in Jamaica. So you'll be hearing a lot more from me. I have to say.
Yeah. So don't worry, people. We'll have him. We'll have him a couple more times before he comes back to Jamaica. Especially if Mount Pleasant wins Monday night. If they lose, then I may not talk to him.
We're coming for the trophy this year. So one match means a lot, especially when it's a big match like that. But our focus is really on making sure we win the Premier League there this year, because I don't have that one on my resume, and Coach Teague has it, and I can't stay behind.
All right, boss. Coach
All
Eric,
right.
thank you so much. But we'll be in touch. I'll keep in touch with you. The next time when you come on, though, you need to give us some clips. Let us see. Hopefully
Yeah,
this time you
definitely.
win
I
the
mean,
game so we can get
we
some
we
clips.
we we actually brought our camera system here as well, so we should be able to get some more clips. As we start really playing the matches. As I say, U17 has their first match tomorrow, and it might take a day or two because the schedule's quite busy. But we'll definitely be sharing some clips so persons can see what's going on over
Yeah,
here on the
man,
field.
definitely. Do love that to see. All right, Coach Eric. Listen, good morning. And yeah.
Yeah, and let me finish off one more time by bigging up KFC to really make all of this possible. And if you want to follow us outside of the show, Kingston Football Academy on Instagram is where we post most of the
So
things.
Kingston, Kingston, Kingston Foot. Let me just put that up there. Football Academy and IG.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, so people, here's the thing. I'm telling you, right now, if Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Kingston Football Academy. There you go. On
Yes.
IG. You can follow what's happening there.
Thanks a
Tell
lot.
Andrew to check out your social media. That's the IG page, and then you can go from there. All right.
Yes. Yes. All right. Have a good evening,
Yeah, man.
and
Yeah,
you
man.
hear from
All
me
right,
soon
coach.
again.
Yeah, man, take care. All right, people, listen, I hope you enjoy that quick and fast 1 hour. Awesome stuff. There you go. Hey, Jason, respect, man. That's very good. There you go. So the link is in the comment section, right? You can click on it and follow the Kingston Football Academy. And listen, this is a good academy if you're in that area to get your kids connected to. You understand me? They do a lot of great work. You know, they're out here in Jamaica. A lot of good stuff, great stuff going on up there. Kingston Football Academy, I believe that they're on Facebook as well. Sure improvement. Sure improvement, you have to improve, you know. You have to get with the program. You need Insta. Oh, Jason, you are the scout for that academy. I didn't know that. Yeah, man. But listen, thanks people for coming on. Listen, this is one of the good ones. Quick conversation, but important one. So please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Coach Andrew Edwards, if you don't have cataract number, if you don't have his number, I can send it to you. Let me send it to you right now. You understand me? All right, let me find it right now. So Coach Andrew Edwards, I'm going to send you the number right now. And you shout him on WhatsApp. And then I'm going to send him your number so him can shout you. Bam. See it? So we move quick and fast, you know. There you go. Bam. So you have his number, he has your number, and that's it. Thank you so much, Jason. There you go, sure improvement. All right, so there you go, people. So again, thank you so much. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, people. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you being here for this hour. For those of you, who didn't see the beginning, just go and watch it. Right? I am Manningsman. This has been I Am Sure Sports. We end with a word from our sponsors, Tricknick.
Tricknick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?